Hi there. Today we are working on a closer look at a variation of the forked cluster stitch. I'm Ellen Gormley and welcome to my channel. So I have for you a finished swatch here, and then we're going to remake it together in a ombre yarn. We'll see how far along the stitch pattern we get in this yarn. So this pattern is made of a multiple of 3 stitches. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 repeats. So a multiple of 3 means that's 21 stitches right there. Then plus 2, 1, 2 for the bookend at the end of the row. So that makes 23 stitches. Plus 3 chains for the foundation. So this swatch started with a chain of 26. You got that? So the multiple is the number of repeats. Then the plus number is whatever is needed to finish up the end of the row. And then the last number is for the turning chains. So this is what we've got, and let's just count rows, shall we? So when you look at this, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. Okay, there we are. So I have a worsted weight yarn. This is a worsted weight here. And then let's take this ombre little yarn-a-doodle here and see if we can even get into the second color. And I have an I size hook. This yarn calls for an H size hook, but I like my I hook better. So you can chain the multiples of 3 for the number of repeats. So 1, 2, 3 makes 1 repeat. 1, 2, 3 makes 2 repeats. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then it says a multiple of plus 2 chains plus 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. So today what we're doing is a double crochet decrease, and they call it forked because the legs, I call them legs, the posts of the stitches are separating and leaving a gap of a chain in between. So it is a double crochet decrease. You can see in my special stitches playlist how to make a double crochet decrease, but we're going to do that here, but we're going to be skipping 1 stitch in between. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a double crochet cluster in the 5th chain and 7th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is where we're going to put the first leg. So yarn over, insert the hook in the back ridge of that 5th chain from the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook and leave it there. We're then skipping 1 chain and we'll put the next leg in the next chain. So yarn over, insert the hook in the back ridge of that 7th chain from the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook, and then yarn over and pull through all the loops on the hook. Okay, see where we are so far? And then chain 2. So that is the entirety of the stitch. For this foundation row, we are going to make our forked cluster in the very next chain using the first leg of the stitch in that next chain, skipping a chain, putting the next leg in the next chain with a yarn over, insert the hook in the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook, and then bind it all together with a yarn over, pull through all the loops on the hook. Got it? So we've made 2 occurrences already, 2 repeats. Chain 1, 2, and give myself a little more slack out of this cute little ball of yarn. This happens to be Yarn Bee Little Dollop Strudel Scrumptious yarn. I've never actually tried it before, so we're giving it a try. It's acrylic and cotton today. So yarn over and insert in the next stitch, the next chain, and we will work this split or forked double crochet decrease, double crochet 2 together, same thing, all the way across, separated by 2 chains each time. So when I was doing the green, this swatch, I thought, oh, I need a darker background. So I picked the purple, but then I was thinking this stitch might be really pretty in a multicolored yarn. So then I grabbed the multicolored yarn, and I'm not so sure that it looks great on the purple background, but maybe it will pop a little bit better with a green background. Okay, so here's where we are so far. We're right here on the swatch. Chain 2. And we're not skipping any stitches in between repeats, in between forked double crochet togethers or double crochet decreases, however you want to call it. So at the end, we have 1 chain left. We have 1 chain left there, which is okay because we're not skipping any chains this time. We will just chain 1 instead of chaining 2, and we'll put a double crochet in that final chain. Okay, so I made fewer repeats, so it will be a smaller swatch. So to go back to that math, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 repeats. If each repeat takes up 3 stitches, that's 15, plus 1, 2, that's 16, 17, plus chain 3 for the foundation. So we're up to 20. So it took us 20 stitches, 20 chains to make this swatch that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 repeats, plus a book end over here and a book end over there. Okay, got it? So I know that multiple math for making a swatch can be confusing. That's why I go over it. So row 2 and all the other rows from now on, we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn. Now we will do the split double crochet decrease, yarning over, inserting in the chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook and leave it, skip the double crochet together and put the next leg in that chain 2 space and tie it all together with a yarn over and pull through all the loops on the hook. Now don't forget to chain 2 in between repeats, and we're going to use this space again. So yarn over, insert the hook in that space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, then do it again, yarn over, insert in the next chain 2 space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook, then yarn over and pull through all the loops on the hook. So we're using these chain 2 spaces twice. So chain 2. So we're using that space for the first half of the stitch and for the second half of the stitch, and then we will use that space again starting the next stitch, the next repeat. Okay, here we go. Give myself a little more slack. I'd like to get into the next color, but this seems to be a really long color changing yarn, so I'm not sure that that's going to happen. I do think this would be very pretty in a multicolored yarn. I know that so few crochet stitches, in my opinion at least, look great in multicolored yarn, but I think this might be one of them that will. So for the end here, you don't just end with a double crochet decrease, you have to finish it off with a bookend so that it mirrors or is symmetrical to the other side. So just like row 1, we are going to just chain 1 and put a double crochet, this time in the 3rd chain of the turning chain 4. So we have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to put the double crochet in the 3rd one, picking up 2 loops of that turning chain. So here is where we are so far. Super cute, very versatile, very lacy, very drapey. Of course, I do have an I size hook and it calls for an H size hook, but it's okay. I think it's not too loose looking. It still looks fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn. Use that first chain 1 space for the first leg of your double crochet decrease, and the second in the next chain 2 space, we're skipping an entire double crochet decrease. We're skipping that stitch. Chain 2 in between repeats, and we'll do this all the way across. Chain 2, 1, 2. Remember, I make right and left-handed versions of all of my stitch patterns, at least all of them after the first couple when I first started the channel. So if you need the other hand shown, check out my playlist because it should be there. I should have both right-handed and left-handed versions of every stitch up on the channel except for the first few stitches in the micro stitches playlist. Okay, so at the end of the row, Here's where we are so far. Don't just stop there. You'll see that you would be decreasing if you stopped there. And if you could decrease this way, but you really need that book end on each end to make it symmetrical. But to finish off this row, you can see it's kind of diving in. It's not a straight line. So it needs another stitch there. So chain 1 and double crochet in the 3rd chain of the beginning chain 4 turning chain. And there is 3 completed rows. Let's do a couple more rows together. Oh good, we're going to be getting into the white here in a moment, and we can see what it looks like when we change colors. So let's stay together and do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn, use that first chain 1 space to begin your first leg. Use the next chain 2 space for the second leg and wrap them all together. Chain 1, 2. Use that same space and the next space. Yarn over, pull through, and chain 2. And oh good, here comes the white. We can see what it looks like as we change color. We'll see some dimension in this yarn. Nice. So hopefully you'll be able to get a flavor for what it looks like to have a multicolored yarn in this stitch. That was my goal when I chose this yarn. But then I failed to realize how long the color change is in this particular ball of yarn, which usually looks really great in crochet. I kind of like a longer color change in my crochet. Oh yay, it's starting to happen. This ball of yarn will also switch to gray at some point, but I don't think we're going to get there today, but it's okay. So we will just continue in pattern and see what happens. I think this would really look beautiful in a heathered yarn or a tweed yarn, in addition to a multicolored variegated or ombre yarn. Of course, ombre generally means going from light to dark in the same family color, but variegated means varied or variety, so more than one color within a yarn. Okay, and so after this last repeat, we need to remember to add that chain 1 double crochet in the 3rd chain of the turning chain 4. Yay, we've changed colors. Let's see how that looks. Boy, doesn't that pop. Very pretty. Okay, let's do another row. I don't want to stop. This yarn is actually very soft. It's a acrylic and cotton blend, and I'm having fun with this stitch pattern. Chain 4 and turn. Very fun, very easy. Just a 1 row repeat. So gratifying. Quick to work up. So it's probably just a smidge above beginner because it's decreasing, but then I'm increasing here with, we're still a multiple of 2. Do you see that? So this decrease together counts as 1, and then when you chain 2, that makes a multiple of 3. That means it takes 3 stitches to make up each repeat. So we are still using a multiple of 3. Remember when we figured out our beginning math with our how many chains to make? We know each time we have an occurrence, it makes 1 stitch, makes 2, 3 stitches. So each occurrence makes 3 stitches. Okay, let's go here one more time. And at the end, we just chain 1 and double crochet in the 3rd chain of the beginning, chain 4, taking care to pick up 2 of those loops there. See, I'm picking up 2, yarning over and finishing the stitch. Let's see what we have. Ooh, that's cute. That's cute. Make a cute top. Cute little summer tank top, don't you think? Anyway, this has been the variation of the forked cluster, because it's not really clusters, they're really double crochets. We ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows in this pattern for this swatch, and it looks really pretty and has great drape in both solid and this multicolored. This one is a wool and a touch of cashmere blend, and this is a cotton acrylic blend, and both of them I think are really pleasing. So I hope you give the forked cluster a try, and I really should call it something else, maybe forked double crochets. Let's call it that, forked double crochet. It's in a variation of the forked cluster, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like and a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for plenty more videos to come. Take care. Bye.